Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Ugh, I just pinched my finger on the tripod. It hurts so bad. I went to open the tripod. I don't know why. That's talking. By the way, I just want to warn you before I get started, the air conditioner is on behind me, so you might hear some background noise. Happy October, everyone. Happy favorite. Oh gosh, there's a bug. It is my favorite month ever. I love October. I love everything about October. And now that it is October, I've decided to start making my pumpkin fall treats. Now, if you watched my video from the weekend, ow, it's starting to bleed. Sorry. Oh, that hurts. I made this treat with my nephew, and I thought, this is my most favorite fall treat. I've been making this for years. It is to die for. People have asked me for the recipe. My sister made little mini versions at my bridal shower last year, and it is just delicious. It is this delicious pumpkin bread. Now, it is not the healthiest. I did figure out the points for you though. If you cut this into 10 pieces, it is 13 points a slice. If you can manage to cut it smaller, I think if you cut it into 12 pieces, it goes down to 10 points. Let me check that. I lied. If you cut it into 12 pieces, it goes down to 11 points a piece. But it's good to know that you can indulge a little bit during the fall season, and just make sure that you track it. This pumpkin bread is so delicious because there is a brown sugar glaze on it that just makes it so moist and delicious. I know everybody hates the word moist, but if you want to see how I make this most amazing pumpkin bread you will ever try, then just keep watching.
So the first thing you're going to do is set the temperature for the pumpkin bread to 325. So here's everything you will need for this recipe. You will need some brown sugar, all-purpose flour, pumpkin pie spice, baking powder, baking soda, eggs, some salt, some vegetable oil, and some pumpkin puree. These are the things you will need for the glaze. You will need some milk, some brown sugar, some butter, and some pecans. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you need is 1 3/4 cup flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt, and 2 teaspoons pumpkin pie spice. I didn't measure this exactly because it's not like the other two things that you need the exact amount. This could just estimate, and you can never have too much pumpkin pie spice. And now you're going to need to mix everything well at this point so that everything is mixed evenly throughout the dry ingredients. And now you are going to get your bigger bowl, and we are going to work on our wet ingredients. You will need 1 cup brown sugar, the entire can of the pumpkin puree, one-third cup water, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and 2 eggs. Now you are going to beat this really, really well, so that when you add your wet ingredients, you just have to fold everything together. Now you're going to add your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients. And you want to make sure you don't really over mix this. You just kind of want to mix it until it's well incorporated, which is why I took out the big whisk and I just got it started with the fork. And now, since I got through all the lumps, I'm just going to finish folding it together with a rubber spatula so that I make sure that I'm definitely not over mixing it. And then you're going to take your greased bread pan and pour in the batter. I used a bigger one, but if you wanted to make a few of them, you could use smaller sized ones. And I used the new Pam baking spray. I don't know if it's new to me, and I'm not really sure I'm a fan of it. It kind of like foamed up. The bread definitely didn't stick, but it was just a different weird texture. You could definitely just use butter and flour if you want. You don't want to get fancy. And then you're going to pop this in the oven for 55 minutes. Now we're going to work on our glaze. What you need for the glaze is 2 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup brown sugar, and 3 tablespoons of milk. And you're just going to warm this up until everything kind of melts together nicely. And you want to mix it together while it does this to make sure that it all kind of gets together. And then you're going to turn the heat up until it gets nice and bubbly and delicious. It'll kind of get thick, but not too thick. But you want to get it hot enough so that it gets really bubbly, like you see here. It just tastes really good this way. And now we are going to chop our pecans. If you want to make this easy, you could buy them already chopped up, but I kind of wanted to be cheap here and save a few dollars, so I didn't mind chopping them up myself. But if you're going to do this, you want to make sure that they're not too big, because you don't really want a big chunk of pecan in your bite, just a little bit to add a little bit of crunch. And you don't really need exactly a 1/4 cup. You could eyeball it and just put however much you want to on top. And now we're going to take a skewer or a toothpick if you want, or a fork, whatever you want to do, so that you could poke holes all over the pumpkin bread. Once it's cooled, you don't really want to do this when it's hot. And you're doing this so that it kind of gives the glaze somewhere to soak into. And then once you feel like you have enough holes, you're going to take your glaze and you're just going to kind of spoon it on top. You don't want to put too much on top, so definitely don't like dump it, because then you're going to have a wet bread and you don't really want it to be too wet. You just want enough to add additional flavor and keep it nice and moist. I know everybody hates that word, but the glaze really does keep it nice and moist. And then you're going to take your pecans and sprinkle them all on top, and it'll cover up the holes if you used a big skewer like I had. And it's just going to make it look really pretty if you ask me. And here is my finished pumpkin bread. This is the best pumpkin bread ever, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!